if you see a word, you see the object or the color of that particular object. Now, in music as a language, if you see a note, you should be able to hear that note. If you hear that note, you should be able to write that note. So if you can hear and you can write it out and you can see, then you know the language of music.
Children's Orchestra Society was started by my father, and he came to America and he found out that American kids don't practice so much, so he decided to put them in an orchestra. He feels that children learn better if they play in a group, because when you practice by yourself, it's kind of boring and you don't really see the point of it. Whereas if you play in a group, and there are some kids who play better and some kids who play not so well, the kids who are just beginning are motivated to imitate and look up to the ones who are ahead of them. There was a 7-year gap until my father wanted me to take over the orchestra, but I was actually a pediatric intern at Bellevue. And it was not until after I married Michael, and he revealed to me that his life dream was to have an orchestra, and I was absolutely delighted that that was the case.
When I told her that I would like to build an orchestra of children, and she said, "Oh my gosh, my dad is an orchestra," so we rebuilt it.
All the money we had in the bank was $2,500. So we put it all in the name of the orchestra. And I looked at Michael and said, "This better run, because now we don't have mortgage for next month." When we started the orchestra, people said, "Oh, you have it made because Yo-Yo Ma will help you."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, Yo-Yo Ma will help us only if Emmanuel Ax will help us first."
Right.
Because, if our kids get to be good enough to play with Emmanuel Ax, then we will ask Yo-Yo Ma. In 1993, my school, the Brearley School, wanted to do a benefit featuring Emmanuel Ax and Nava Perlman.
That's correct.
And they asked our orchestra to be the orchestra to play with them. So that was it. I got my chance because we got to play with Emmanuel Ax. So the next year we asked Yo-Yo Ma to play
and
for our 25th anniversary.
That's it. That's how it all started. And then we get spoiled. Because how can you get better with Emmanuel Ax than Yo-Yo Ma? So everybody sort of was very inspired to do well together, and that was amazing.
So that was pre-discovery, actually. This was our 25th, and the next year was Olivia and Chi-Yun.
I was the first discovery here, so it kind of led the way to kind of say, well, maybe I could probably do this, and it was just encouraging all the way. So now currently I do teach at the Brearley School, and we have a music program there, and then I also teach here at COS, at Children's Orchestra Society with the Kinder Orchestra. So it's just been a wonderful growth experience from being here at COS.
When we started having this orchestra, I realized that the sight reading was a challenge. They cannot read music, so it's hard to learn new materials all the time. So the distinction between playing a quarter note and an eighth note and a half note was not there. It was just all mismatched, So we started musicianship class, which is teaching them solfeggio, the do-re-mi system. And because of that, their sight reading skills improved really, really, really very fast.
One of our featured programs is chamber music. All of our leaders comes through chamber music.
I strongly believe orchestra is a big chamber music. There's a language being spoken on stage, not verbally, obviously, but with eye contact, with breath, with small gestures, with cues and things like that. And all that is being learned in chamber music initially, in a more intimate setting. And when you take it to a bigger scale, everything's a little more natural.
The COS is like really a family. It's a big family.
Michael and Yeou-Cheng doesn't just treat us as students, they actually treat us like their own children. And that's what I think this place is so special and still holds a very special place in my heart.
I look forward to playing with other people and playing different music outside of school and just having fun.
At the end of the day, music is part of our language, and it is what that unites us together as one big family of music makers.
We've talked about having an alum orchestra for over 10 years, but this year, in our 50th year, we decided in our masterworks, which usually features only our faculty, we decided to incorporate and launch the COS Alum Orchestra. We've done little projects, but we have not had the continuity because, again, it takes a lot of organization to keep something like that going. They were excited. We were excited.
I
We were very
cried.
touched.
I
We were very
literally
touched.
cried.
It was
I mean,
very touching.
I was overwhelmed. I was overcome by my own emotions, and I could not believe that kids I have not seen 20 years ago came back and played, and they were so good.
We see what a varied group of students, what they have become, and we would like to see that work continue. So in our 50th year, we hope to start an endowment for the orchestra.
For any not-for-profit to be able to sustain themselves for another 50 years, you need an endowment so that when these moments of failure or losing major support or financial difficulty of the United States or even the world, that you have a cushion to help you fall. And because you have an endowment, you are able to continue.
Music is very, very important because it gives children the ability to be one, to unite, to be whole, to fill in some holes of their hearts. And if once they play better, they become better persons, and they can play along with somebody else. And once they all play in harmony, and they will learn how to coexist with other people who may not look like them. So the music breaks boundaries. We do not anymore think about, oh, you belong to that group. No, the music is just a unifying force.
Change the people themselves into better people through music.
And when we have better children who plays good music, we create better people. And if we have better people, then we create a better world.